Namaste. Good morning to all. I welcome you all to this session. And first of all, I would like to give my thanks to the principal sir, Professor Dr. K.C. Das sir from SVM Ayurveda Medical College and RP Karanadi Ayurveda Hospital, and the HOD of Department of Chalakya Tantra to giving this, to inviting and giving this opportunity to share my little knowledge and clinical experience with your UG and PG students of this medical college. Actually, I have already qualified, MD qualified from Banaras Hindu University in 1995 to 1998. And my PhD from Jamnagar University in 2008 to 2010. Therefore, actually, I am very happy to give this knowledge to Indian students, because I got this knowledge from your country. Actually, I am specialized from your country. Therefore, this is my this is my duty to give that knowledge to your students. With this small greetings, I would like to start my presentation. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Today, my topic is common oral cavity diseases and its management. Though the topic is this, but with this limited time, I am going to express my views and knowledge regarding the periodontal, that means regarding the Dantamulagata roga. Therefore, in that manner, I will start my discussion. And I have prepared my presentation from very beginning, that means in a very primitive stage, because I don't know in which way you need this thing. This is the first time I am doing this for international students, because in Jamnagar University, I gave that lectures for MD students regarding oral cavity. That is, that means the face-to-face discussions. Therefore, if any inconvenience, please excuse me. Regarding common oral diseases, actually, according to WHO data, as well as India also and Sri Lanka also, when we consider the data, that periodontal disease are very common, and this is the main oral cavity, oral health hazard in present era. And next is dental caries and dental hard tissue disorders, oral mucosal diseases, oral pre-malignant and malignant conditions. As you know that, in Yoga Ratnakara, it mentions that Oshtaucha Danta Mulani, Danta Jivacha Talucha, Galo Galadi Sakalam, Saptanga Mukha Muchate. There are 7 sites, including known as Mukha, except this definition. Vagbhatacharya has included another site, that is Ganda, that means 8 sites. He has included 8 sites. From that, first I want to pay your attention with this saying. If your hands bled when you wash them, you would run to the doctor. But in the public's mind, bleeding gums are okay, unless you are really wailing away with your brush. if your gums bleed even a little, that's periodontal disease. Because why I give this saying to you, in day-to-day practice, during my this experience, day-to-day practice, most of the people, they are not considering this as a hazard. But they will reach to us in very late stage, because therefore chronicity is more. Therefore, always has an Ayurvedic doctors, we have to instruct the patient in and community. We have to aware the community. When you see this symptom in very first day, they should come to the doctor. Then only they can get totally a proper prognosis. That means totally sadhya condition. Before coming to the main part, I want to express you that what is healthy Danta Moola, because if Danta Moola is healthy, then only we can preserve our oral health properly. Then how that Danta Moola get healthy with our concepts. What are the roles of dhatus in maintenance of Danta Moola? We know that Rasa Dhatu, Rakta Dhatu and Mansa Dhatu are the most important dhatu contribute for this healthy Danta Moola. According to that view, that Rasa Dhatu gives Snehana, Prinana and Jivana. That means it gives, maintains the nutrition and defense mechanism of gingiva, because the gingival clavicular fluid gives that defense mechanism. In Rakta Dhatu, it gives nutrition as well as normal color of the structures. And in Mansa Dhatu, main action is Dharana and Poshana. That means it gives stability and shape to the Danta Moola. Collectively, when we consider Kapha and Pitta dosha collectively involved with this, with their Ashraya Dhatu, and collectively enhance the local defense mechanism and maintain gingival health. Then first, I have already explained you that today I am going to give you that my little knowledge regarding the periodontal disease or Dantamulagata Roga. Among Dantamulagata Rogas also, that gum bleeding related conditions, I am most concerned with this presentation. Then what is Dantamula? Or according to modern dentistry, what is periodontal? These are the structures, that means supporting structures which hold the tooth in the socket in proper way. For that purpose, there are 4 types of structures involved in this Danta Moola. There are 2 soft tissues and 2 hard tissues. Gingiva and periodontal ligament considered as soft tissues, and cementum and alveolar bone considered as hard tissue. And this gives that idea that what are those parts. And what are the common Dantamoola? We all know that according to Acharya Susruta, 65 Dantamoola, 65 oral diseases mentioned in Susruta Samhita, and 67 mentioned in Madhavanidhana, Bhava Prakasha and Yogaratnakar, and Ashtanga Sangraha and Ashtanga Hridaya, 75 diseases mentioned. Among those related to that 7 sides, regarding Dantamulagata Roga, in Susruta Samhita, 15 Dantamulagata Rogas mentioned, and Ashtanga Hridaya and Ashtanga Sangraha, that means according to Acharya Vagbhata, 13 diseases, and Yogaratnakar, Bhava Prakasha and Madhavanidhana mentioned 16 diseases. Among those diseases, I think these are the, according to my experience, these are the very common diseases we are getting day to day our practice. Shitada, Dantaveshcha, Upakusha, Adimansa, Shaushira, Dantanadi, and Danta Vidradi. I think in India also, according to my experience, India also we got this type of conditions more than other conditions. And one thing you will think that where that Paridhara. Because Shita, the Dantaveshta Upakusha, when we go to the clinical part, that clinical entity, patients present with these three conditions, we can exactly correlate with the modern components also. And Paridhara, we can keep in between Dantaveshta and Upakusha. Therefore, I hear in this presentation, I mainly concerned with the Shitada, Dantaveshta, Upakusha because these are the conditions daily we are getting patients regarding these Dantamula problems. Because these are the diseases related with gingival. And when come to the Nidana and Samprapti, I am not going to explain you each and every point. Actually, you all well aware about that Ashtanga Hridaya, this sloka that Masya Mahisha Paraha Samaka Mulakai Masha Supa Dadi Shira Shukteshu Rasa Panita Avak Shayansha Bajato Dishato Danta Dhavana Dhumas Chardana Gandu Shanus Chitancha Shiravyada Suddha Slash Mol Bana Dosha Kurvanti Antar Mukan Gada. When we analyze this each word, each section, when we analyze, we can think how this common Nidana approach to produce this type of diseases, conditions. I can explain you in this way. Actually, due to that Mukaroga Nidana Sevana, even Mithya Ahara or Mithya Viharana, this will lead to, ultimately this will lead to armor formation. Because in oral cavity disease, mainly it is mentioned in Ashtanga Sangrahaya also, Kapha and Rakta involvement is there. Always Kapha Rakta involvement is there. Therefore, this armor formation ultimately leads to Sroto Rodha and Dosha because of continuous association of Nidana Karna, Dosha get Vruddhi, that means Sanchaya, then further association of Nidana Karna will lead to Prakopa. Like that, we can explain that Samprapti in one direction. And other direction is due to lack of oral hygiene, that collection of food debris is there. We know that Danta Mala is the main etiological factor. That means when accumulated food debris, that is the main etiological factor. This will precipitate by the armor formation. Therefore, we have this type of strong concept. Therefore, we can give better service and cure, totally we can cure these type of diseases than modern medicine. According to my experience, actually this is the area we can give better service to our community regarding oral cavity. Therefore, this food collection of food debris, then again this will go to Danta Sharkara formation, because if it is remain as such without any disturbance, that Sharkara will form. From this Sharkara, the Mansa Dushti will occur, then this will go to instability of gingiva and form the clinical features. That is one way. And in Agantuja, because of trauma or teeth brushing trauma or any iatrogenic factors, iatrogenic factors, directly it will injure to the Dantaveshta, that means Dantamoola. And again, Mansa Dushti is there, again instability of gingiva, and it will progress into disease condition with the specific clinical features. And in Sheetada, we know that Shonitan Danta Veshtabhyo Dadyat Kasmat Pravartate Durgandhini Srakushnani Prakledini Mudunicha Dantamansani Shiryante Pachanti Cha Parasparam Sheetado Namasavyati Kappa Shonita Sambhava. In Sheetada, we know that vitiated dosha is cough and rakta. When we come to the Danta Veshta, it is mainly predominant with vitiated rakta only. And when we leads to Upakusha, it is due to vitiation of Pitta Shonita. Now you see that how this condition progress into this chronic stage. That means early stage is Sheetada. We can correlate with the gingivitis, especially marginal gingivitis, and that condition is more suitable for this disease entity. Then it will lead to Dantavesha, that means ulcerative and suppurative condition. With the earlier symptoms, it will produce more severe than Sheetada condition. And from the Dantaveshta condition, it will lead to Upakusha. Then you see that these are the inflammatory conditions in Danta Moola. This inflammatory condition with our concepts, first Kapha Shonita. In that condition, inflammation is not so marked. There is some sort of inflammation, but that is not so marked. But in Dantaveshta, because in Sheetada, Kapha and Rakta association is there. But in Dantaveshta, totally Rakta vitiation is there. That means that inflammatory condition should be more than Sheetada. And when it leads to Upakusha, Pitta and Rakta vitiation is there. That means more than Dantaveshta, that inflammatory condition will produce. In that way, that disease will progress into Upakusha. First, because we have to think on our concept and with our terminologies, how this progress into Upakusha condition. Because in modern medicine also, marginal gingivitis, then acute ulcerative gingivitis, suppurative gingivitis, then it will go to chronic periodontitis. Because these conditions are very chronic conditions, because patients also come to us with chronicity, because they will not consider this in early stage. Therefore, always they will come to us with the chronicity. Therefore, that pain is not the marked feature of this condition. And in Sheetada, according to this Susruta, Acharya Susruta's definition, Akasmukta Raktasrava is there. That means maybe most of the time, patient complains to you that early morning when he or she gets sputum, that some sort of bleeding is there. Or sometimes patient will tell, when I get some hard foods, then that bleeding is somewhat bleeding, blood stain discharge is there. Likewise, or while brushing only, we can identify the bleeding. In that way, in Sheetada condition, this Akasmata Raktasrava, patient will complain. And Mukha Daurgandhya, this is a common symptom for all the three conditions, because it depends on the Dantamala, that food debris accumulation. Therefore, this Krishnata gives, because of the vitiated blood, it gives that vitiated blood stain color. Therefore, it mentioned as Krishnata. And Prakledata also, this is a feature of Kapha dosha, Nuduta, Prakledata, and Kapha and Rakta both will affect on this. And these are the Krishnata, Prakledata, Mruduta, Akasmata, Raktasrava. These are the conditions mainly we can identify from Shita the patients. We know that actually this is not the condition related with vitamin C deficiency. No any such correlation with vitamin C deficiency, because that also called Chitada or scurvy. But in scurvy condition, bleeding gums is one sort of complaint only, or one sort of sign only. But that is not correlated with Shitada. Shitada can correlate with gingivitis condition, early stage of gingivitis or marginal gingivitis in that type of condition. And Dantamansha Shiryamanata, this is not that much marked in Shita the conditions. But this is the main feature of Danta Veshta and Upakusha. And mostly we can get highest number of patients with Danta Mansha Shiryamanata in Upakusha patients. These are the photographs we can consider regarding the Chitada, because you can see here, actually we are not getting that much inflammatory conditions or that much bulging of gums in this condition, because this is the early stage and very little identified from these patients. And I think that gingival anatomical structure, I think students already known about this condition. Therefore, I'm not going to explain those things. In Danta Veshta, that means Shravanti Puya Rudira, Chala Danta Bhavanchicha, Danta Veshta Savinyeyo, Vinyeya, Shravanti Puya Rudira, Chala Danta Bhavanchicha, Danta Veshta Savinyeyo, Dushta Sonita Sambhava. Here they have mentioned only Puya Rudira Srava and Chaladanta. But that earlier what we have discussed regarding the inflammatory condition in Shita, these inflammatory conditions is continuing here with somewhat advanced level in Danta Veshta. Except those inflammatory conditions, they have mentioned two symptoms, mainly Puya Rudira Srava and Chaladanta. When you go to patient, when you examine the intraoral exam, when you do the intraoral examination, you can identify that Puya Rudira Srava. Actually, I want to show you that. I want to show you that I think you all are well aware about these two instruments, then dental probe and the dental mirror. These two instruments we are using to examine the intraoral condition. From these two instruments, how we are examine the patient, I will show you only by probing with this probe, because I can't handle this mirror with two hands. Therefore, when you do the probing, actually probing means only the sensing. We should not injure to the gingiva, just only sensing. That means you have to insert this probe tip from this gingival previous in marginal gingiva. in marginal gingiva, here also you have to introduce this tip of the probe in this marginal, that means gingival crevice. Then we can see, because normally this gingiva, marginal gingiva, very much attached with the tooth surface. There is no such depth. Depth is zero in physiologically. When this disease condition get progressive, then only there is some depth between the tooth and the marginal gingiva. In later stage, that means in Upakusha, in our that sloka mentioned about Ugrashota. Ugrashota means periodontal pocket formation is there because of Dantamansha Shiryamanata, that gingival attachment is slowly get distracted. And this condition, these photographs we can compare with the Danta Veshta, because not like early condition, in Danta Veshta condition, that Shiryamanata is more, that somewhat Puya and Raktasrava is more. This is not, in this condition, Akasmukta Raktasrava is not there, but always Raktasrava and Puya Srava we can identify when we are going to examine the patient also. When probing, we can identify Puya discharge and the bleeding. Then we come to Upakusha. That Veshte Shudaha Pakasha Kebyo Danta Chalanticha Agatita Prasavanti Shonita Manda Vedana Admayante Srute Rakte Uka Puticha Jayate Yasvin Upakusha Sasyat Pikta Rakta Pruto Gada. See, in this condition, Veshta Danta Veshta Daha Danta Veshta Paka, Chaladanta, that Shronita Srava, and Shiryamanata, Dantamansa Admana, those conditions are very prominent. Because when we come to this Upakusha stage, all the supporting structures are involving. But in Shitada, only that structure involving is gums, gingiva only. And we can see, while examining the intraoral, doing the intraoral examination, we can see only the conditions related to gums. If we want to see the other conditions, like in Upakusha condition, when we have, then we have to go for the IOPA radiographs. Then we can see the destruction of bones and periodontal ligament involvement. Those things we can see by IOPA X-ray. See, in Upakusha, they have that Loka has mentioned, actually these conditions we can identify in patients. Because in Sri Lanka also we are getting this type of periodontal disease cases, because in modern medicine, they don't have good prognosis with these diseases. But in our side, we can give better service, and we can regain the oral health conditions of that patients if they will come to us in early stage. Therefore, we have to give that take-home message to our patients, that if they identify any bleeding any sort of bleeding from the oral cavity, that means especially in gums, just they have to come to the doctor. Then only they can get totally cure of this disease condition. And here, that earlier also Danta Veshta, that Chala Danta also there, but in that Chala Danta is very in mild stage. That means sometimes maybe less than 1 millimeter or less than 2 millimeters. But in here, in Upakusha condition, this may be sometimes more than 2 millimeters. Not only sometimes, always it is more than 2 to 4 millimeters. But in early stage of Chaladanta, we have medicine to regain its, restore its condition, tooth in proper socket. And Paka also more. And what will happen when this disease condition progress into Upakusha, that periodontal ligament and all the supporting structures are involving, all these other structures are involving, then we have, why this Chaladanta will produce, because normally if the periodontium is healthy, that masticatory forces will it will radiate through periodontal ligament, and it will not harmful to the periodontal structures, because that periodontium is healthy, Dantamula is healthy. But because of unhealthy Dantamula, this physiological forces, that means that masticatory forces, they can't bear, the structures can't bear, therefore they want to compensate that forces, therefore Chaladanta, that drifting, spacing, mobility will produce in this condition. In modern dentistry also, they gave in chronic periodontitis, they gave the symptoms like drifting, spacing, mobility, that suppurative gingiva, those things. But pain is very little. If there is ulcerative condition or any sort of wound condition, then only that they will complain about the pain. Otherwise, pain is not a marked feature of these three conditions. And this condition we can compare with, you can see that alignment also get disturbed because of drifting, spacing, those things. And periodontal pockets also form here. When we probe here, then the tip of the probe will go down with sometimes 2 to 3 millimeters, or sometimes 4 millimeters, like that. We can identify the pocket depth. And when we correlate with the modern dentistry part, we can correlate with marginal gingivitis, suppurative gingivitis, ulcerative, and chronic periodontitis. Chronic periodontitis is very much related with the Upakusha condition, and Dantaveshya conditions, that suppurative and ulcerative conditions, we can consider in that way. And in ulcerative gingivitis condition, we can consider with the Paridhara condition also. Therefore, I told you that Paridhara condition comes between, according to clinical entity, when we are getting day-to-day patients, we can fix into between Dantaveshya and Upakusha. And Shitadha, mainly with marginal gingivitis, collectively we are calling as gingivitis, but marginal gingiva is mainly involved with the Shitadha condition. And according to modern concept, they always emphasize dental plaque or bacterial plaque is the main etiological factor for these conditions. Because earlier I mentioned how that our samprapti will develop. According to modern samprapti, according to modern pathogenesis, dental plaque is the main etiological factor. Actually, they have mentioned, they gave one question to me, Ayurveda treatment for periodontitis. Actually, I will give you in my present, I will come to that part. Glossitis, I will not talk today. Actually, periodontal diseases are the main topic I have selected today, but in periodontal diseases, what type of medicines we are using, I will give those things. Because I want to come to that part in proper manner. Therefore, just I can't jump into the treatment part. Therefore, I am doing it in this way. Then dental plaque, you should have knowledge about dental plaque, because dental plaque is the main etiological factor according to modern dentistry. And this is the pathogenesis according to modern dentistry. I am not going to highlight to each and every point how that plaque formation will go to produce with the bacterial colonies in the oral flora. Then bacterial toxins will produce. These toxins will irritate to the gingiva and form the inflammatory condition in the gingiva. This will give you idea. If this plaque formation in this situation, if we attend to this condition properly with proper brushing, proper gandusha dharana, those things, then we can regain the proper oral hygiene and dental. It is reversible to normal periodontium. And these are the local factors according to modern medicine. Inadequate oral hygiene, mainly with the dental plaque formation, and later calculus deposition, and food impaction, faulty restorations, because faulty restorations will precipitate the plaque formation. And mouth breathing, because of dry gingiva, it will again go to inadequate oral hygienic measures. And systemic factors, these are the systemic factors mainly related with this condition. And how you are going to diagnose those conditions. Upon clinical features, you have to interrogate with the patient, and you can get the history. And inspection and palpation is mostly important. Without palpate, without doing gentle probing with the probe and mirror, without doing intraoral examination, should not diagnose the disease condition. And gentle probing, we can identify the bleeding gums. We can identify the Dantamansha Shiryamanata. Also, we can measure the periodontal pocket depth. And percussion also important, not in this condition, especially in Shaushira and Dantavidradi conditions. And intraoral periapical X-ray is the most important X-ray other than the occlusal X-ray and biting X-ray. Those things are important in the Krividanta and other conditions. But in here, in Dantaveshta, especially in Upakusha condition, intraoral periapical X-ray is important, because we can identify with the alveolar bone height, we can identify how that disease, in which level it was progressed, and loss of periodontal attachment also. And these are the important investigations. This is very common, and especially fasting blood sugar also, because diabetes also interact with this condition. And clotting time, if you are going to do a research work, then clotting time, bleeding time, especially gingival clavicular fluid subculture is very necessary, because from that because we have to get gingival clavicular fluid, and we can identify which type of organisms are there. According to that, when we applied our medicine, then how that medicine act on those conditions we can identify. In management, we are managing in Sri Lanka. I am managing in patients in this way. Actually, this is the main the concept, that is Nidana Parivarjana and Amapachana is very important in this condition, because in modern medicine they are not considering about the digestive system, but in Amapachana very much related with the Dantamula Gadaroga, and in Shodhana, Samana, and Ropana. In Shodhana also locally, according to Roga Rogi Pariksha, you can identify the patient's condition, and if necessary, Nasya will act very effectively before going to Gandusha and Pratisarana. Nasya, if you can adapt Nasya, then it will give good results. And Rakta Mokshana, Gandusha and Pratisarana, according to condition, we can select. And systemically, according to patient's dosha bala, that means dosha dusha samurchana, vamana virechana, we can adapt. And oral hygienic preventive measures we have to give to the patient. Without preventive measures, only by curative measures, these disease conditions we can't accept the total, that means good prognosis. Therefore, always we have to give the preventive measures, how they have to do the Danta Davana, Jivva Nirlekana after if they are getting that sticky foods, how they have to maintain their oral cavity, like that. Those things, every preventive that instructions we have to give to the patient with this treatment, with this management procedures. And before coming to the medicine, first I want to explain you that probable, because Pratisarana and Gandusha are the main local procedures we are adapting to these conditions. Therefore, we should know why this Pratisarana and Gandusha affect more than other measures. Therefore, probable mode of action, because normally this Pratisarana and Gandusha, our doctors, I have observed several times that doctors they are giving mouthwash and they are giving some powders or any preparation to apply on gums, but they will not give the proper instructions how they have to do it. If they will not give the instructions properly, we can't get the good results. Patient will not cure properly. Patient will cure temporarily, but recurrences are more, because that is the one main feature of this. If Nidana is remaining as such, or Nidana is associated by the patient time to time, then recurrences will be more. Therefore, better especially you have to give instructions how they have to do this. For that purpose, that doctor or a student, that medical student, they should have that idea how they act, how these things act on that disease condition. For that purpose, probable mode of action of these conditions are important. First, in Pratisarana, mechanical, when we do proper local application, that means gum massage with the our medicated powders, then we have to do it in proper way. By that, mechanical pressure exerted on gums towards the direction of the gingival sulcus. That means actually how you explain to your patients to do that. You should explain by finger they are doing this massaging. Then in upper jaw, you should ask the patient to massage it with circular movements as well as from upwards to downwards, because this gingival crevice in upper jaw, gingival crevice is like this. Therefore, from upwards to downwards it should done. Here from downwards to upward. Then only if anything accumulated inside the gingival crevice, that will come out. Otherwise, if patient will apply on this way in horizontal movement, that will not affect. And round circular movements are very effective. Because of the anatomical structure, we should think on that. And that then it removes the main causative factors of the disease, because mainly calculus formation will be in the subgingival calculus will be inside the gingival crevice. Then gentle gingival massage, then it stimulates the gingival epithelial cells, then only gingiva will regenerate. Because I know in Shita the conditions, in my PhD work in Jamnagar, we have already identified in Shita the conditions, we can regenerate the gingiva. We have used that medicine Dashana Sanskara in paste form with powder form. That was a comparative study, and we have already identified in pharmacologically and all the phytochemical analysis, those things, everything we have completed in that study. And markedly we have identified regeneration of gingiva is possible with the Dashana Sanskara Churna if we advise it to the patient properly. Then regarding the probable mode of action of Gandusha has 3 actions. One is Shodhana. When we give that Gandusha fluid, we have to advise the patient if we are giving fluid or if we are giving powder, how they should make it has a Gandusha liquid, and how they have to dilute it. Those things we have to advise the patient. And impact, because of this Gandusha fluid, impacted food particles get dislodged and mixed with Gandusha fluid, because we are asking the patient to take full volume of the oral cavity and keep for a few minutes when lacrimation or when nose get wet, like that. In that much time, we are asking the patient to keep it. Therefore, in that time, that particles will accumulate to the Gandusha fluid, then removing the food debris and deposition of gums, then it will help to regain the oral hygiene. And that is Shodhana part of the Gandusha. Then other action is stimulation. How? Stimulate salivary glands, promote gingival defense mechanism, because we know that with salivary secretion, continuously this oral cavity get clean up. Therefore, this salivary stimulation should be there, and it will promote the gingival defense mechanism also, and increase salivation at immune level. And final action is absorption. It retains fluid mixed with gingival fluid, then it absorbed in gingival epithelial cells, promote the keratinization and regain the gingival health. In that way, Gandusha and Pratisarana acts on these conditions. And now I want to explain you that that slides are that much slides are there, but now I will explain you how we are, what type of medicines we are giving for this Pratisarana and Gandusha conditions. Actually, in early stage, we are using according to patient's condition. And according to patients' Deha Prakriti, we are using that Kushtadi Churna, Dashana Sanskara Churna, Spatikadi Churna. If we don't have any type of that type of Churna, then we can use Tripala also with Madhu or Spatika Jala or that Shwetamanjana Churna also you can use. Lodradi Churna also you can use. Dashana Sanskara is very important. And for regain the gingiva, we have some recipes we are not getting from Ayurveda side, we are getting from our traditional medicine, as that green gram powder, and that Vansalochana, then Babula, with that Masaka, I can't remember the botanical name. These churna we can use with honey or irimedadi oil or kills oil. This type of suitable oil we can select for that. And some Dardima husk, that Dardima husk to powder we can use for with the honey to apply on gums. And Gandusha also, actually we don't have exact, we are preparing according to our Dravya Guna knowledge, we are preparing according to the condition, because one Gandusha is not enough for all the diseases. Therefore, in addition to Gandusha and Pratisarana, especially I want to express you that Danta Rasayana is very important, because in here I am using that black till seeds, that amalaki powder and bakula fruit. This combination we have prepared as a powder, and we are giving to the patient to keep their oral health properly as a Danta Rasayana, because Danta Rasayana is very important in these conditions. Actually, we can do Jalavkacharana, especially in Upakusha condition, because in Upakusha condition, that periodontal pocket formation is there. That means that Ugra Shota is there. Sometimes with this Pratisarana, we can't get good results with Pratisarana. In that condition, that Dushta Shonita we can remove by Jalavkacharana, it is better, but most of the time in Sri Lanka also, patient will not allow to keep the Jalavka in that particular pace. Or we can do with Lekana, we can remove that vitiated blood, and we can apply Pratisarana and regain the gingiva. That is we are doing most of the time. In internal medicine, we are giving decoctions. Decoctions means actually we are giving the that kashaya, we are giving not only the Kvata form, very least Kvatas we are using in our OPDs, because it will not effective more, but decoction when they can prepare at home with according to our recipe, it will give more, because we can give some medicine for Amapachana also, and some internal other proprietary medicines we can give in addition to these things. But that should decide according to disease doshic involvement, as well as patients Deha Prakriti. Those things we have to consider specially. Ayurvedic treatments for periodontitis. There is one question regarding Ayurvedic treatment for periodontitis. We have treatment, because in early stage, when patient will come with very lengthy chronicity, even with the very mobile tooth, we can't we can't place that tooth in a socket. It is not possible. But if patient will come in early stage with 2 to 3 millimeters mobility, those things, it will take time to regenerate. But patiently we can do. It is possible with the internal medicine. In Jalavkacharana, Paschat karma means there is one question. Paschat karma, we can do that normal Paschat karma what we what indicated in our acharyas for Jalauka, that is a normal thing. After that, we can apply our Pratisarana also. We can give, because in our clinic, we are giving periodontal pack. We are keeping the patient in the clinic and we are making periodontal pack with our medicine, that recipes, that Pushtadi Churna or Dashana Sanskara Churna, Lodradi Churna, Spatikadi Churna, those Churna, we can use any that Churna, what will affect on that disease condition, that those Churnas are effective in periodontitis also. That churna we can mix with suitable oil, that means Sirimedadi oil or till oil or honey or any other suitable liquid. We can mix with those powders and we can make the paste and we can cover the gingiva like gingival, that gingival packing we can do in the same time in the clinic also. The periodontal pack, the periodontal packing is very important. Then only that medicine will absorb to the gingiva properly. When we applied it at within 5 minutes or within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, when we do the, when we washed out, then it will not take that much little time, it will not take, because this should be continuously do. Otherwise, these periodontal cases we can't cure within 2-3 days. It will take time. According to chronicity, it will take time. But according to my experience, we can cure the disease. If they will come to us in early stage, it is very effective and very easy to cure. Is there any other questions? Actually, this is very short, within very short time. Actually, in this type of conditions, IUPA is okay, because IUPA X-ray is the most common X-ray, and we can identify which we want to identify the defects. We can get the idea with the IUPA X-ray. I think it is okay. No need to go for advanced things. This is okay. Because in periodontitis cases only that X-ray will effective. Otherwise, we can't get anything from the, in Shita condition, we can't get any idea regarding the disease condition, because it is confined to the soft tissues. Therefore, I think time, I think now over. If you have any problem, if you have any difficulty, or if you need any help from me, you can get my email ID from your HOD sir, or otherwise I can tell you now that drpriyaniP@gmail.com. That dr simple or Dr. drpriyaniP@gmail.com. Because I am very much want to help you in this area, because I am the only person in Sri Lanka qualified for this area, especially MD and PhD both. Therefore, in my, according to my situation, what I can, what type of service I can give to my country, I am giving. Therefore, if you need any help from me, I can help you. There is one question they are asking, best for internal medication. Internal medication, we can select the internal medication according to disease condition. Therefore, I can give you the list, but according to patient's condition, because we have to consider each patient singly, because has a single case. Because in Ayurvedic treatment, in Ayurvedic discipline, there is no any such symptomatic treatment, because we have to adapt our concepts and we have to do our management according to Ayurveda. No such symptomatic treatments. Therefore, symptomatically, for reduce the that inflammatory condition, we can give this medicine. We can't do it in that way. We have to consider the disease entity as Deha Prakriti and those things in individual case by case. And maybe that we are getting from our classroom, we are getting so much of medicine, that list of medicines, but according to that Jnana Purvan Samachara, according to the condition, we have to adopt the medicine. Therefore, list I can give, but condition we have to think. Okay, thank you very much for patience and listening.